れたものはいつか思い出すはずでしょう。消えた夢の影を探した寂しさの答え儚さを愛触れてた風に流れて僕は君を愛せていたか少し気づくことが遅すぎだんだん消えてゆく明日さえも崩れ落ちてゆく何もないここで一人きりいつかまた最後の日を迎えられてみれまた生まれ落ちた君が望む日
Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm here to talk about the situation that took place in Georgia where GloRilla Hallelujah Woods, which you'll be surprised happens to be the female rapper GloRilla.
Bitch, I'm from Memphis, what you know about me? Big G-L-O-N-A-G-L-E.
At first, I took it out of the wrong context. I thought that she literally got arrested for burglary and possession of weed.
Good shit.
But if later to find out, if anything, is that she literally called the police because someone tried to burglarize her home, and once they checked her place, they realized she was in the possession of weed, and they decided to take her instead.
And tonight, rapper GloRilla is facing charges in Forsyth County after she was arrested this week. But the sheriff's office says it all started after 3 people broke into her home. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to her home Saturday for reports of a burglary. They say that 3 suspects were in the process of stealing when someone inside shot at them. Well, the sheriff's office says that the suspects left and they were not located after an extensive search. Well, the sheriff's office says while deputies were there, they smelled marijuana, and then they got a search warrant from the home, and authorities said that a significant amount of marijuana was discovered inside the closet of the master bedroom. Well, the rapper, whose real name is Gloria Woods, she was not home during the burglary or this search, and she was charged with felony possession of marijuana and possession of a Schedule I controlled substance. Well, on Tuesday, Woods turned herself in and was released on that same day on a $22,000 bond. Well, the investigation into the burglary continues. No suspects have been arrested. And the rapper's attorney says that Woods' family, they were staying there when this burglary happened. They called law enforcement for that crime, not expecting a search warrant to be issued. They also say that Woods is a victim here, not a suspect.
The thing is, though, that's outright insane in my opinion. Like, it's till this day, like, and again, I understand, like, their laws were like it's illegal to possess drugs, but it's like when it comes to someone's like life, I feel like that should become a priority more, in my opinion. Not to say I'm a fan, as long as they're not really selling or forcing people to use like illegal substances that could potentially harm people, then I can understand them trying to arrest her. But the thing was, though, it's not like she was literally at her house like selling drugs online after her house got burglarized.
First at 5 on your news leader, Memphis rapper GloRilla is arrested in Georgia just days before she's set to perform at her Glow Bash at FedEx Forum. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hirsch. She was arrested on drug charges. However, GloRilla's attorney says there's more to the story.
What's weird is because like even when you're expected to like call 911 and the people that you should inform is the police, there are times where it's like you're the one that's going to be looked at as the aggressor, even though you were trying to claim that you're the victim after your house was literally being robbed. But it's like at the same time, what are they going to do about the burglars at her house? even though, again, the state of law there might be different. There's some cases where in some other countries they probably don't really think it's a big deal. Like now, honestly, I think it depends how you use drugs. Honestly, I feel like you should be charged based on how you use it, whether you're selling it out in the black market or if you're giving it to people in the open in public. Then I can understand. But the thing is, though, from what I understand, she's literally using it for herself. Just whatever she's trying to cope with, like whether it could be like she had a rough day or she's tired from work.
Organizers tell WREG that the show will go on. Today, the FedEx Forum tweeted a ticket link for the Glow Bash, and they tweeted that out for people to buy more tickets. They said the tickets are still on sale, and that will happen tomorrow night at the FedEx Forum. Now, as fans prepare for the event, GloRilla, her attorney, and the community are reacting to her arrest in Georgia.
But what I'm trying to say, you guys, though, I will eventually get into the burglary topic, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't mind a person doing drugs as long as they're not putting other people's lives at risks. It's the same thing with smoking, though. If you're smoking and you're completely away from other people and you're not blowing smoke in their face, then I honestly don't see that problem. Same with drinking. If you're drinking alcohol and as long as you have self-control and you're not bothering anybody, I'm cool with that. But because I don't want to be the type of person, yeah, again, it's the law, but I don't want to be the type of person to judge someone based on like their selective actions. Especially if they're not going out of the way, like putting other people's lives at risk and literally putting them in harm's way. But the one thing I'm still trying to figure out is like, how are they going to deal with the real danger, the actual burglars? Some people might say they don't care because they're not in her situation, has nothing to do with them. But at the same time, it's like these burglars, since they got away with it, chances are they're going to do it to another. It may not be someone like Gloria Woods. It may be somebody else. Because that's just some people don't seem to realize about criminals when they have whether they have a record or not. If they get away with the first crime, chances are they might try to do it a second time or even more, because they feel like they're very lucky and they're getting the upper hand over the law, and they feel like the law isn't really paying attention to them. So it's like they're going to continue doing what they're doing.
Days before GloRilla is set to headline her inaugural Glow Bash at the FedEx Forum, she was arrested on drug charges in Forsyth County, Georgia. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office says this all started in the overnight hours of Saturday, July 20th, when deputies responded to a burglary call at the rapper's home. The police report shows someone in the home fired shots at a group of people who broke in and stole items. The suspects were gone when deputies arrived, and during their investigation, deputies say they smelled illegal drugs. Deputies then executed a search warrant and found marijuana inside the master bedroom closet. They charged GloRilla, the homeowner, with felony marijuana possession and possession of Schedule I controlled substance.
I'm going to try extremely hard to maintain my composure, and I mean extremely hard.
But the thing is, though, the most important part is that some people, like, that's the one thing is that, like, again, it is the law, but one thing I will never understand is, like, there are some people out there that think that literally get uptight, whether, like, based on how someone decides to live their life. What I mean by that, I'm not talking about you can't just do whatever you want and go out of your way and, like, harass and piss people off, but what I'm saying is that if someone during their spare time decides they want to do weed, they want to smoke, or they want to drink, that's their choice, in my opinion. Because I feel like you don't need to, like, literally go out of the way and, like, disrupt them because you're literally disturbing their peace. And some people may not realize that's their way of coping with stress. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm a egotistical fan or whatever, but, like, at the same time, it's like there are people out there that should literally get some freedom.
If it was anybody else, if it was another Jane Doe, it's just because it's GloRilla, they make a big deal out of it. If it was Lakeisha down the street, it would have been nothing.
At the same time, it's like it depends how you use your freedom, because I'm honestly, I only really go in on people because I personally don't know her. I don't really know, so I can't really jump into clues. I don't know if she's harmed anybody in the past, or if she's gone to beef with before. Like, the thing is though, when it comes to beef, it's like it's only if you know this person has been going in on you and it's been back and forth. That's entirely different story. But it's like if the beef is between you with somebody and you go out of your way, like in order to get revenge, you try to pick on their family members or their close friends just to get them, then honestly, consequences it should definitely come with consequence, and you definitely deserve karma.
Karma's a bitch.
I do want to add is that, like, because again, I don't have any details on her, is that because that's only if I believe she innocent, not just me, but like for anybody with common sense, if she happens to be a threat to society, then I can understand having to like take this immediately arrest her, immediately having to take her in first. But I feel like what I'm trying to say is that I feel like they should have went after the burglars, and then they can deal with her later, and then they can also be able to resolve the real problem in which the burglars put someone other, not only just her, but who knows who's living there, but other people's lives at risk.
GloRilla's attorney, Marissa Goldberg, tells WREG that the rapper was out of town and her family was home at the time of the burglary. Your news leader went on Bill Street to hear what people have to say about her arrest.
You would think the safety of people is a priority more than just like beef, more than just like the small like petty crimes or whatever, or like mistakes that people have made, even if they did end up getting caught up. It's like is that more important than the actual like aggressors? Because I don't know whether she was being hostile with police as to why what it might have also led to the arrest. If anything, they could have just outright confiscated and let her be, and then focus on the real threats.
I think that's the absolutely most craziest thing I've ever heard, because she wasn't there first and foremost. Second of all, we don't necessarily know what happened in that situation. The robbers could have left it there. Anything could have happened.
She wouldn't even been there. So how do you know somebody that planted drugs there? How do you know somebody in her family that had it? How do you know? It could be anything.
Now, and like I said this before, is that now chances are, since the police aren't focused on them, they're gonna go out of the way, do the same thing, and it's gonna make the law enforcement look even worse, and not make them seem like they're not a reliable source to call for help. Because your only options nowadays is either defend yourself, or hopefully you find people that's willing to be able to take this matter seriously. Because at the end of the day, you guys, I feel like the burglars should have came first before they decided to go in on Gloria Woods, what she had like under possession. Because it seems, and proving a lot of people's points, like if you have, whether you have drugs, or you happen to be a drug dealer, they'll either give you more time, or they're gonna they're heavily gonna focus more on you, more than the actual problem, more than the serious threat, more than the real danger. Why? Because those police officers feel like that it's an easy job, that they don't have to put too much work, probably do more paperwork, or literally put themselves in a situation where their lives will be at risk, even though it's literally their job. And you would think that the police themselves would keep their priorities straight, and they would come and actually be able to like show support for the people and serve and protect. But at the same time, it's like they're literally contradicting their job. Even though even what she was doing might have been illegal. It may lead to illegal trouble, but not that the day it's not the main objective. Because once someone addresses and calls the police and lets you know that their life is in danger, I feel like not only should they question her on the phone, but like they should have confiscated the drugs first, let her be at first, and then take this opportunity and go after the real threat, the one that's the people that are actually going out of their way and terrorizing people, because they literally let them off the hook scot-free. And this in itself is a pattern, and chances are it's not going to be a constant thing, but it may lead to like problems where it's like you can't even trust law enforcement, and there needs to be better solutions and how they need to like prioritize and be able to gain the people's trust again. Because the way it seems, you guys, it's just another situation where it's like the police or just the police being on a power trip or abusing their authority. So again, she made the mistake, but at the same time, it's like they still didn't manage to catch the real criminals. Because to me, it's like the people that go out of the way threatening people, who endanger other people's lives, who have no problem taking someone else's life, they need to be handled like pronto. And I feel like that's always going to be mandatory, regardless what they witnessed first beforehand.
Now, GloRilla was released the same day on a $22,260 bond, and again, she is expected to perform tomorrow night at her Glow Bash at FedEx Forum. Now, she tweeted about her arrest, and she said, "Long story short, my house gets invaded, and I'm the only one that gets arrested." Now, GloRilla's attorney says that there have not been any arrest warrants in touch with that home invasion, and she went on to say that GloRilla is a victim, not a suspect. Reporting live from downtown Memphis for your news leader, Raven Copeland, WREG News Channel 3.
But overall, I feel like it's enough, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check the notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.
Burglarized, your